Hello, everyone. I am going to finally finish this discussion on Split, which I've actually watched twice because I remember I was watching it around 4 in the morning and started getting sleepy. I hate when I fall asleep during a movie because it's kind of a waste of time. Because I know I'm going to watch it again, which I did. But watching movies more than once is not bad. It's just sometimes underutilizing your time if the movie's not extremely useful. But this film wasn't too bad. It wasn't bad at all. It's M. Night Shyamalan. So I wanted to talk about the progression of James McAvoy with my experience watching films in the order that I have. And I remember when I was growing up, I didn't really pay attention to extras. Or he wasn't even an extra. He was one of those characters. He played Mr. Tumnus in The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. He was kind of like a Judas. Yeah, I like him. I remember, I think I spoke with a few friends that just called him a backstabber and not even a really good character, but I understand why he was manipulated and tainted. And if you bring stories in a biblical sense, since the beginning of time, there was always people being manipulated, and it wasn't necessarily their fault that made them evil. A snake would talk to the first woman and convince them to terrorize the first man, and Judas definitely betraying and selling out a great leader for coin. It happens. But Mr. Tumnus, he's a great character. I think James McAvoy did a really excellent job depicting a character that you should have hated so much, but I kind of still love him. I think the next film, Wanted, in 2008, he plays Wesley. I think I just graduated high school around 2008. Yeah, and I think when I saw this movie, I was just completely confused, but I thought it looked really cool. I thought it was like the new Matrix, perhaps, in terms of like action sequences, because I've never seen someone curve a bullet or even talk about the idea. And that's what they do. They shoot at people, but curve the bullet so it can hit the person on the other side. And that was pretty innovative. I'm not gonna question that. That's pretty cool. And now I think this movie, X-Men First Class, which was in 2011, he plays the young Charles Xavier. This is crazy because I remember I'm a huge fan of X-Men, especially in the 90s with the cartoon series. And the X-Men series, the films, were kind of lacking. But when this movie came out, just as a movie, it was impressive. And
You doing, Cam?
I'm doing good. And yeah, I never thought that Patrick Stewart would look so good as a young Charles Xavier. It's pretty awesome. So okay, going and stopping myself from going into a tangent. He is heavily impressive in Split. Some people may even comment that Split was only good because of him. So let's discuss which characters he played. I think it was about 24 characters, 21 to 24, 26. And but this is the only record of names that we can actually name, but there were more apparently. And that is Dennis, Patricia, Hedwig, the Beast, Kevin, Wendell, Crumb, Orwell, and Jay. Let me see if I could remember this properly. Dennis was usually the one that you saw more predominantly. I think if I had to... Dennis was probably the one that was bad. People don't like Dennis because he likes to look at women dancing for him. Sounds like a stripper. But Patricia was the one who seemed like the mastermind. It was kind of like the gentle soft, but yeah, she actually was the brains of it all. No, they're all separate. So they have a sort of mental condition, which I'll highlight later. Okay, Patricia's the woman. Those are actually the two main ones that you hear most of. Hedwig, not too sure. Tells you how well I pay attention, especially when I feel like it's the same character. The Beast, it was easy to define. He was pretty much the strong, violent. Oh, shh. The strong, violent. Kevin Wendell. I like Kevin Wendell. That was that kid. I thought it added effect when he was on his knees. And it's a trash can, Connie. The trash dump is taking the trash. It is a Friday. You know that. Okay. And Kevin Wendell, he's funny. I think I was imagining a little kid, so I think James McAvoy's personality type for that was accurate. Crumb, I think, was the Russian bodybuilder. That was supposed to be like the normal strong person. Who knows? Orwell, I have no clue who Orwell is. I just know who George Orwell is. So maybe he made Animal Farm. I don't know. Jade. That is Jade. Maybe Jade was who I thought Patricia was. I guess I watched it a third time. I watched this a third time, I guess, to check. Alright, or if someone can comment below and differentiate them for me, that'd be cool. Right, so James McAvoy has a history. He has definitely more films, I just need to get to them, and he is certainly an actor that I would like to see more of. He's a good person. Alright, fun facts. Dr. Karen Fletcher, played by Betty Buckley, was in the original Carrie 1976 as Miss Collins. I like that psychiatrist. And then there's a spoiler, but it's not a happy ending for her. She was the sort of accepting, loving character that supported Dennis. Not necessarily Dennis. Dennis was banned from the clinic, but just, yeah, they're all the same person. It's, damn, I forgot his full name, his real name, but he goes by so many different names because he's not the same person. So I thought that was cool by adding a actor who has experience being in a horror film. Kind of gives it substance, I suppose, a history, and hiring actors is just cool fun facts. So, dissociative identity disorder, DID, is a real mental illness. I wanted to put that because not everyone knows that it is, or they're just too afraid or embarrassed to admit it. And it's nothing to be ashamed of. Um, I put down below 2 pictures of solid films that I like. That it says critics like to be. They like to push an agenda. So, from my understanding, critics don't like this movie, who are really, how do you say, sensible. They're good people, and they love helping people with real mental illnesses, and I like that. And they said that we can't have films like Psycho and Split because it puts them in a bad light where they're the bad guy. And I'd have to agree, because when I was growing up, differentiating who the bad and good guy isn't how it is with how I see it now. Certainly now I look at every villain and I can sort of understand them now. If it's a well-written script and it develops each and every character, the villain should be fantastic, and he makes the hero look amazing. You kind of over-celebrate the hero when the villain made the movie. And yeah. So, as far as how a film should be regulated, I still don't think it should be censored. Then you would have to censor freedom of expression and get into all of the legal disputes, and because we're not a sort of society that likes to pinpoint and fix things. We kind of are lazy and we like to categorize things, and I think that's why we have labels. But yeah, I draw struggles. It's interesting how each side has a valid point. M. Night Shyamalan is entitled to his artistic vision to share this. He didn't have to share this with us, and it was just, I don't know. It's like growing up with comic books, and I suppose he's building his own universe, and our universe somewhat mirrors that of fiction or art. So there's a balance. Am I the right person to ask how we should look at this? No. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, and to fight each other with steel would just be counterproductive. Okay. Sequel to Unbreakable 2000. So Unbreakable was actually probably my favorite M. Night Shyamalan film of all time, and I guess it hit that spot that I liked, where it was a superhero movie that was truthful, where people are a lot more nastier when they are bad, and sometimes the superheroes are just regular people. But in this case, Bruce Willis is if you haven't seen the film, Bruce Willis plays an unbreakable character, hence the title. But he doesn't know that. He just knows that he plays football and he's generally athletic. So, yeah, I just realized the next film, because the Split film is a prequel to Glass, and spoilers, watch the ending, you figure it out. Mr. Glass is I want to go ahead and say that he might be the Joker of this universe. And I'm pretty excited. I like villains who are masterminds. They kind of have their own general sense of what success is and how the world should be. I remember I was talking to my dad about Adolf Hitler and what we thought were weaknesses towards his vision, and it definitely was that idea that he just wanted to kill too many people, and it was as if he held a grudge against the Jewish and the homosexuals. Yeah, you can't lead people into believing that we need to be a perfect society with the best genetics, because then you should kill yourself, because even those people are not perfect. But I do agree that it should be a balance, because if I continue supporting laziness, you end up having a society that takes advantage of your kindness and no productivity ever happens. And people collect welfare and never want to get a job because then they'll lose it. And we're sort of in a predicament where the good are doing all the work and giving all their money away. And that would be socialist. Yeah. So, we have to be careful with how we run our society. Everyone needs to contribute and not hide in the shadows and being the watcher. So yeah, thank you for watching.